Hey guys, welcome to Laratips. Recently a new feature has been released in latest Laravel version, which is Pruning Models, and it is available from the Laravel version 8.50.0. So what it basically does is, let's say you want to delete some of the older records from your database, then you can do it with this feature. And you can see here guys, sometimes you may want to periodically delete models that are no longer needed. Then you can use this feature. And in this video, we'll look at how to use it and how it works under the hood. Okay guys, here in the database, I have the users and I have seeded the data over here for January, February, March, April, May, June, all this data. And these are not verified. Some of them are verified and some of them are not verified. And also guys, you may want to delete the older records from your database because over a period of time, the database size increases and the performance of your application may decrease, or there may be some law or regulations in your country which requires you to delete the records of the users, let's say that are over 2 years or 3 years. So it will be very useful in that case. So let's see how to do that. So here I have the records. Okay. Now, if we look here in the browser, so here we can add this prunable trait in the model and we can use this function. So now let me go to this users model over here and let me add that prunable, and I have to add this method prunable, which will return the eloquent query builder over here. So here guys, I'll just paste the code, and instead of sub month, I'll say sub month 6. So it will delete all the records that are older than 6 months. And this static means guys, so this is just the like this user where created at, and like this, since we are inside the user model, so we can use here static like this. Now after defining this method, now let us go ahead and look in the documentation what we can do. And now guys, we can see here that we can call this model prune method on the PHP artisan. Then it will delete the records that are older than 6 months old, which meets this criteria. Here guys, if you see here in the database, so currently the date is July 13. So 6 months older means these two records will be deleted whenever we run that command. Okay, now let me go to the terminal and let me say PHP artisan model prune. And if I hit enter, now you can see here guys, it is saying 2 records have been pruned. And if I come here in the database and refresh, you can see here guys, it is 1, 12, 1, 12, 2, 12, 2, 12. Okay. Now if I refresh, you can see here guys, the 1, 12, there are 2 records that were 1, 12 now that are gone, which means that whenever we run this command, it will delete all the users that are older than 6 months, which means those 2 records have been gone now. And guys, let's say you want to do something else before that user has been deleted, then you can also do that. So if I show you guys here, this pruning method, so it is called just before deleting the users. So let me just define it over here and let me go to this model and just add it here. And let me just echo something. Let's say this name. Okay, we'll say pruning this name and we'll just as php_eol so that there will be a new line whenever we see it in a terminal. Let's do 5 months. Okay, here. And if we do 5 months, then these 2 records will be deleted, which is this Lance and Mrs. Glenda. So here guys, now if I come here and again hit model prune, now you can see here guys, it has called this pruning Lance and Mrs. Glenda, and you can see the name over here. And after that, it is showing us the message that these 2 records from this user model has been pruned. And if I come here and again refresh, you can see here guys, those 2 records have been gone. Suppose let's say we want to delete the images that are related to this user, or let's say any other relationship like polymorphic relationship that are not automatically deleted by the foreign key relationship, then we can do that over here. Again, if I show you here in the documentation, we can schedule this command like this. Here we can go to this app console kernel. So if I show you here console kernel, and we can just add this command over here and it will run daily. And we can also specify the time at like this, and we can say 23:59. Then at every midnight it will run daily. And also guys, you have to set up a cron job for that, and that will be a totally separate video. If you don't know about how to set up a cron job and run this scheduler, then just let me know in the comment section. I'll create a separate video about that. So we can do this, and every day at 23:59 this model prune will be run and the older users, let's say whatever we have defined here, let's say all the users that are older than, let's say 3 years and are not verified. Yeah, okay, we can say also here where null, and we can see here the column name which is email verified at, like this. Those are not verified and that those are older than, let's say here, and if you see this code here, those are older than 5 months or let's say older than 3 years, they will be deleted automatically every day. And one thing to note that any models that are inside these models, it will automatically detect those models. But let's say you want to delete records for other models that are not inside the models directory, app models directory, then you can specify it over here. And whenever you pass these two data, let's say you have this address and flight in your code and you pass this data, then it will only prune these two records, okay, only address and flight. It will not prune any other records. So that also you need to keep in mind. And there is one more thing guys, mass pruning. And whenever you use mass prune, instead of here, we have used here prune, but instead of mass prune, what happens is all the records are deleted at once. But whenever you do only prunable like this, it will get all the records and it will loop through each models and then it will delete one by one. But in the case of this mass prunable, it will delete everything at once and it will be much more performant guys. But one disadvantage is that you can see here guys, this deleting and deleted model events will not be dispatched whenever we use mass prunable. And let's say if you are using this deleting and deleted events, then you need to keep in mind this also. Now let's see how it works under the hood. So guys, whenever we call this PHP artisan model prune, if you go here inside this prunable thread, it will call this prune all method. And guys, in this mass prunable also there is this prune all method. So whenever you call this command, this model prune, then if you are using prunable, then it will call this prune all on the prunable, and if you are using mass prunable over here, then it will call the same prune all method on this mass prunable. Okay, and how we know that it calls this? So let me go ahead and show you that. So here prune command, and it is located here guys inside vendor Laravel src eliminate database console and this prune command. Okay, and guys, you can see here this model prune command, and whenever we call this command, this handle method will be called, and by default the chunk will be 1000 and model will be all the models. And you can see here guys, it is just listening to the model pruned class event and it is just giving us this count event model records have been pruned that we have seen whenever we run this command. Then in the end we saw this information. Yeah, it is coming from this. Now let's see what actually happens. So it will get all the models from that are using prunable or mass prunable. So let's see that. So inside these models, we go and look here at the bottom. Here guys, it is looking at if there is models in the option like this. If we see here this one guys, if there is this model option, then it will just return those like this. It will just convert this array into collection and it will just return those two models and no other models will get pruned. And let's say if that model is not passed, then what happens? This is the finder and it will look inside this models folder inside our app path, which means that inside app models directory it will look and it will look at all the files inside that and it will map. And here guys, it is just mapping those models and returning the full namespace of that models. It is not doing any complicated thing but just returning full namespace. And guys, there is users model, then it will just return like this app/models/user like this. It will return this thing up to here, and this portion will check whether the model is prunable or not, which will check that if we have used prunable or mass prunable trait in our model. And this prunable method is just here. So here we can see here guys, usage means class usage recursive means this class usage recursive will give us every traits that this model is using. Let's say if this model is user, then it will give us all the traits that it is using. And it is looking for recursive means it will look into this all these other classes that it is extending as well. It is looking for if prunable exists in this usage, which is actually an array. Okay, so this prunable exists inside this user model, so it will just return the user model. And in any other models, let's say we are not using this prunable, then it will not return those models, and it will just return the values, which means that it has just reset the keys. So the array keys will be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Okay, we have found the models. Okay, from here now it will loop through each model and it will create a new instance of that model. So this means that new user over here. Okay, and it is checking here the chunk size. Okay, if this prunable chunk size is present in the user model, then it will take that chunk size. Otherwise it will take the chunk size from this option, which is by default 1000. And if we have defined public property prunable chunk size in our model, then it will use that. It will not use this option chunk. And you can see here guys, if this is prunable, then instance prune all. You can see here guys, this prune all method is being called, and this is inside this prunable thread. Okay, and this prunable guys that we have already seen here, it checks whether prunable or mass prunable is present in the user's model or any other models or not. If it is present, then it will call prune all. And now let us see guys what it does. So here in the prune all, so whenever we run PHP artisan model prune, then this prune all will get called. And guys, you can see here guys, this prunable here, we can see here this prunable, and we have defined this in the user model, this prunable, which will return the query builder. And here guys, it is looking whether soft deletes is present over here or not here. Let's say if any model uses soft delete, then it will delete those records also. It doesn't care whether it is soft deleted or not. It will delete every records, and it's good thing that we delete every records. We don't want to just keep the stale records that are soft deleted as well. So if it is soft deleted, it will call with trashed, means every soft deleted models will also be included in the query. Okay, after that it will chunk by ID, means it will get all the records chunk by chunk. Let's say we have 5000 records, then by default it will get first 1000 records and it will delete those, and after those have been completed, it will get other 1000 records and it will delete those one by one. And you can see here guys, it is calling models each prune, which means that it will loop through all the models and call prune method on it. And if we go here guys, the prune method is, you can see here guys, this. If there is soft delete in the model, it will just force delete it, and if there is no soft delete, then it will just do a normal delete, which means that it will delete every records whether it is soft deleted or not. And you can see here guys, there is this pruning method which is called just before deleting, and we have seen here guys that here. So now we know that why this pruning method is called just before deleting, because here we can see here the data is deleted and it is just called before it is deleted. Okay, here. And guys, here it will just count the total records that have been deleted and it will add to the total, and finally it will return the total. And guys, it will also fire an event which is models prune, and you can listen to this event and you can do whatever you want to do after the data have been deleted, and you will get the model instance and the total number of records that have been deleted. And guys, if you see here, this models is prune, so this is using higher order messages from the collection. And if you don't know about that, then you can see my tutorial about Laravel collection where I have explained it on detail. So it just basically loops through all the models and call prune on each and every model. So we have seen this guys. Now let us see how mass prunable works. So instead of prunable, we'll just say mass prunable. And if we go here inside guys, there is also prune all method. And here guys, it is just preparing the query, adding the chunk size. And here also it is checking whether soft delete is present or not. And if soft delete is present, it is running force delete on query, not on the model. If we look here in the prunable before, it is running the prune on the model. And this prune is calling this force delete or delete, which is acting on this, which means it is acting on model. But here guys, it is directly acting on the query, which means that every records will be directly deleted. It will not loop through each and every models and delete. And you can see here guys, if there is no soft delete, it will just run normal delete. And here also it will fire the models pruned event. So in both cases, it will fire the models pruned event. You can listen to this event and just run some listeners on it. And here also guys, it will return the total number of records. So that's it for this video guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give big thumbs up if you like this video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.